Alright folks, what is up? This is One Big Bugger and I am coming at you with Euro Truck Simulator 2. I know I was bad yesterday as well as all last week with no videos. All I uploaded was a vlog to let you know I'm okay, I'm alive, things aren't going bad. I've just been really busy and I've got a new puppy and all that, and well, that continued on into yesterday, but I'm finally back on track more this week, so hopefully things will go back to normal. Again, you see me sitting here with the final truck that we're supposed to do in our Picking Your First Truck series. And again, that's because I was having frame rate issues. The frame rate just kept dropping, 20, 19, just didn't want to recover. And it was really fracking annoying. So I've just decided to restart the whole thing over. So we'll take a look at our truck here, the Volvo FH. 4x2 sleeper left-hand drive, 460 horsepower as opposed to 540, again with the old Volvo. 2300 newton meters at 1000 to 1400 RPM as opposed to 2650 at 1000 to 1400 for the old Volvo. I-Shift gearbox, AT0351 12 drive transmission with 1400 liters of fuel. By all accounts, it's actually substandard below the old Volvo FH16 Classic, which is 540 horsepower. I told you 2,650 newton meters with the same fuel and transmission. But unlike the Scania Streamline, which basically came out and was the same exact thing as the Scania, only with minor differences, the Volvo came out. It looked a lot better. It looked greatly improved. And a lot of Volvo fans immediately jumped to it. To the point... Sorry, I had to shut my fan off. To the point that the old Volvo was pretty much forgotten. It used to be the Scania R and the Volvo FH16. When the Volvo FH came out, the Volvo FH16 just faded mostly, and the Volvo FH took over as the number 2 truck in the game. Again, why? I can only base on the fact that it looks a lot cooler. You know, it has a nice styling to it. It has a really nice interior to it. And it wasn't too much weaker, you know. And unlike, like I said, the Scania, it wasn't the same exact truck with just a little bit of a different appearance to it. So it is raining, and I can't quite help that. Doing one frame rate fix, and hopefully it sticks. But as you can see, the mirrors, although they have a good sight, they're not really a great sight because it's got that hard slant to it up top, which makes it significantly smaller, in all due honesty. Although you still have a good view out of it, and the fisheye bold view mirror is actually pretty good as well. And you have a really good view between the bar, the pillar, and the mirrors themselves. So that's actually really nice. The front view mirror is set off in the corner at an odd angle and an odd shape, although it is usable. You probably won't end up using it at all, as like most trucks, I usually just take it off the front. The interior itself, you know, maybe it's just this rain. You know what? Let me attempt something here. Because why am I going to do this on my test? Brake intensity. Is it not here? I guess it's not here. Graphics. Where is it? Ah. It shouldn't be under controls. To be honest with you, it should be under gameplay. Oh, here it is. Rain probability, none. Okay. Not that that'll stop the rain that's there right now. So hopefully the rain stops and my graphics stabilize. You know, the problem with my graphics, I know we're supposed to talk about the truck, is when I look to one side or the other side, and then for some reason the graphics just decide, dead. And that's with two 660s, by the way. I'm still having that problem. Anyways, back to the truck, and hopefully we can stick to it. The interior looks really nice. It's got a light creamish color. The bed's a little polka dot-ish, as they all are for some reason. But it's got this lighter black, even really dark gray contrast to it, which kind of makes it stick out a little bit more. Makes it pop a little bit further, which is actually pretty cool. Yeah, it just happened again. And it's really annoying. I wish it would stop raining because I shut the rain off. Anyways. The interior of the truck is really nice, along with the dashboard. The dashboard is very clean and easy to read. With the gearing, cruise control in the middle, the fuel on the side, which is also what changes when you change your dashboard display, economy, temperatures, cruise control, oil, and air pressure. So that's relatively decent. And again, the numbers are easy to display. The tachometer is inside the speedometer rather than a separate one, which is a nice touch. And I love the in-dash GPS. It's in a very usable place. It's easy enough to read. It looks good. And it's not blocked by anything. It's not an afterthought. It's actually built into the dashboard. So that's really cool as well. You know, I'm almost tempted to go and rest until this rain stops. Oh, I didn't take the job, idiot. Here I am trying to get under the trailer. I haven't even taken the job yet. Is this the one we wanted? Yeah, okay. And it's this trailer. It's still easy enough to back up with. You can see well enough. Turns well. God, please stop. You know what? I'll be back in one sec. Here's hoping. I changed my graphics settings a little bit to try and compensate. Wow, it got dark really fast, didn't it? Yeah, it compensated just fine for a few seconds and then crashed again. I don't know. This game, and it's just this game, is finicky. It really is. Sometimes it'll work just fine. I won't have an issue with it. I'll drive through towns, everything, and it'll be just fine. And other times, it's like today. It's just constantly gonna, you know, shit the graphics bed and just give me nothing but headaches and problems, and just in general make me want to cry. Nevertheless, we shall try to prevail anyways. So the Volvo FH, obviously you're going to feel the fact that it's weaker. You know, you're just going to feel that regardless of what you do with it. Although it can scale up to the same power as the old Volvo, which is a nice bonus. Doubtful you'll really be able to pull that off as a starting truck. Alright, now that we have no more rain, let's try one more. Please bear with me. Okay. Game says nope. Whatever. Instead, I've been fine all day on Eve. I've been fine all day on League of Legends and other games, and just this particular game just doesn't want to. Some days it's just like, nah, I don't want to. And it's really frustrating because it's this particular game that everyone likes, and I enjoy playing it. I enjoy recording it. I can turn all the graphics up to full and play at 50, 60 frames a second without recording. So it has something to do with Fraps, and I wish I could come up with a good alternative to Fraps, but I just haven't really been able to find one. I've tried really hard, man. Just no luck. But anyways, the Volvo itself. After driving the old Volvo, as I've mentioned, this one's just lacking a little bit, you know. I don't know how to put it beyond that. There's just something about it where it doesn't want to, it just doesn't want to pull like you feel that it should. You know, it pulls well, you know, but it doesn't pull well enough. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, puppy emerged. Again, I apologize. It's going to be like this for a little while, no matter what I record or when I record it. You're going to have puppy issues. But them's the breaks, you know what I'm saying? Yep, see, there we go again. She hears something. Well, anyways, the Volvo's stable enough. It's a good platform of a truck. That is for sure. And it has decent power. You'll be able to handle most trailers that you come across, even if you're using modded in trailers. So that's not a big issue either. And it's the only other truck that I personally can use without having the floating GPS. You know, It doesn't have a digital speed display, but it really doesn't need it. I can use the analog one well enough. The advantage of the Volvos too is that they're quiet, you know. Comparatively to other trucks, they're quiet. You tend not to really hear the whine of the engine. You tend not to hear too much of the engine itself, the deep grumbling, or even when you slow down and brake, you know. I've always likened the trucks to various types of cars, and the Volvo is, whether you get the FH or you get the FH16, is basically the luxury SUV of the truck world. You know, it's the Lincoln Navigator or the Cadillac Escalade, or, you know, things along those lines. Well, that's bright, isn't it? So at 22 tons, this trailer is, you know, up there with the heaviest that we towed. As a matter of fact, I think the heaviest we towed is 22. It may have been 21 tons. So it's only a 1 ton difference. And, you know, I do have to give it credit. It's handling it pretty well. But I don't know, just in comparison to the Mercedes, the DAF Euro, and the old Volvo, in all due honesty, it's not as solid, you know? To me, it just doesn't feel as good. It definitely feels like there's a lot of room for improvement. We're already almost done, and I'm going to apologize not only for the lack of content this past week and a half, basically, but also the fact that this video's been really rough. You know, with my graphics just not wanting to hold up today for whatever reason, and just things not wanting to cooperate. You know, I usually shoot from the hip, so my videos aren't always the greatest in quality, but they're better than this in most cases. This is just one of those rare times where this game just, it does not want to cooperate in any way, shape, or form. It really just does not want to cooperate. Even after shutting down and restarting the game all over again, making sure I'm using the 64-bit version. And I've got nothing else running either. So go figure. And I'm running SLI GTX 660s, which should easily be able to handle this. The problem is between Fraps and or the hard drive that records to, which I've never had a problem with. You know, it's a 1 terabyte drive that's not that old and still runs just fine. As a matter of fact, the game that this is playing off of is actually an older drive than the one that it's recording to. Yeah, we get it. Alright, despite the terribleness, and it really was terrible, in terms of me having to fight my computer just to play the game, the roundup on the FH. When it came out, there was a lot of hype over it. It was new, it was good looking, and it could be just as powerful as the old Volvo. But I think a lot of people ignored the fact that it's actually weaker and that it does struggle more. So it's not as good as the old Volvo. Now, the interesting thing before I round all this up into the final list of where trucks are, the reality is in the real world, even if the engines are weaker, the newer trucks are actually better. New electronics, new transmission technology, new fuel consumption economy, new comfort, new ease of driving. Volvo touted when their new Volvos came out how easily they were to steer and how precise you could drive them. Scania came out with how efficient their fuel economy is, and how comfortable their truck is to drive, and each truck touts how much of an improvement it is over its old one, and these are reality. But unfortunately, none of that fuel economy, aerodynamics, comfort, transmission technology, ease of driving, anything like that, none of it translates into a simulation game in today's world. Maybe someday it will, but not in today's world. So therefore, you only have the raw numbers to work off. Horsepower, torque, speed, and things like that. And sadly, those are the only things we can work off of. So with that in mind, it does stand to say in this game right now, still to this point, the old Volvo FH16 is the best truck to start with. You won't be able to upgrade it as much in terms of engines and whatnot, but it starts out at 540 horsepower. That's stronger than some of the high-end engines of other trucks. And that's stronger than some mid-range engines of other trucks as well. And it's really stable, it has a large fuel tank, and it's easy to drive, and it's fairly quiet, so you won't have to worry about a lot of noise if you don't want to. The number 2 truck in line is the new Mercedes Actros. It's just a beautiful truck. Despite being weaker, or I think it's either a little bit weaker or on par than the Volvo FH, it still just surpasses it in every way, from mirrors to sight view to numbers to pulling to just the sheer funness of driving. And that is followed closely in third place by the new DAF Euro 6. Again, it all comes down to how much fun it is to drive, its sounds, its sights, mirrors, and its general, just overall funness to drive. Following those three does come the Volvo FH, this truck right here. It's got good power, good views are decent enough, and overall it's a really good truck to drive. And again, it'll upscale into being the most powerful truck in the game, along with the old Volvo. Fourth is the MAN truck. The MAN truck is just a big monster of a truck. It's the work truck of trucks as far as I'm concerned. Huge windshield, incredibly stable, the most stable truck in the game, fairly easy to drive, fairly strong, can upgrade into the third most powerful truck in the game, I think, and overall just a really solid platform that you can build with. And number 5 is the Scania R. The Scania R, despite being the most popular truck in the game today and has never really lost its number one spot as the most popular truck in the game, it just does not hold up anymore. It's not as powerful. It's not as stable. Overall, there's just... Despite being the king in terms of popularity, in terms of raw numbers, with all these new releases, it's falling behind. But that is a little bit funny when you consider that the Scania Streamline falls in pretty much right behind the Scania R, because it's basically the Scania R with a slightly different body kit. That's about it. You know, same stats, same engine, same torque, same transmission, same everything. It just looks a little different. Behind those, in basically would be 7th place, I believe, is the DAF XF. Despite a small windshield and terrible mirrors, it's still a fairly stable platform. It has decent power, and comparative to the ones that come after it, it's just... It's kind of like the last truck that I would go into in accordance with what I'd feel comfortable driving, basically. Then you start getting into some of the rougher ones in terms of raw numbers and performance in the game. The Renault Premium comes after the XF, I believe in 8th place. It's a really good, solid truck to start with. And some of its problems have gotten rid of that. When you upgrade it, you can actually put a multi-wheel chassis on it, something it never used to have. Unfortunately, over time, it will fall off steeply. And there's not a lot you can do about that. But it's not about how it acts in the end. It's how it is in the beginning. But compared to all the other trucks that are ahead of it, the XF, the Scania, the Volvos, the MAN, the Euro 6, and the new Mercedes, it just it can't even really hold a candle to them as far as I'm concerned. And the 9th place is the Mercedes, the old Mercedes. It's got a nice sound to it, but overall, it's got good low-end torque, but it just suffers in the high end. It really does. You can't build up a good head of steam in it and keep a good head of steam. Like I said, if you try and go over 100 kilometers, you're really going to be pushing and drinking up your fuel really, really badly, and that's not fun at all. I think... 2 DAFs, Iveco, MAN, Mercedes, okay, yeah. So the final one, of course, is the Iveco Stralis. I don't know what to say about this. It's got a short chassis. It's got a weak engine, incredibly weak engine. It does not have torque, does not have a high end. It just doesn't have anything going for it. And there's the reason it's the worst truck. Not the worst. There's a reason it's the cheapest truck in the game. You get what you pay for. You know, it is, like I've said, it's the economy car of trucks. It's like picking up a Prius. Yeah, sure, it's decent, but you're gonna have a lot more fun driving the Dodge Hellcat. You know what I'm saying? So overall, it's just probably not a truck you want to start with. Great truck if you want to fast build a company, because NPCs do not take truck stats into account. But not a truck you'd really want to drive as far as I'm concerned. Definitely not one to start with. So there you go, folks. The Volvo FH16 number 1, Volvo FH16 number 1. The new Mercedes-Benz is number 2. The DAF Euro 6 is number 3. The old Volvo, or the new Volvo FH is number 4. Scania R is number 5. Scania Streamline is basically 5.5, but we're just going to call it 6. The DAF XF, the old DAF, is number 7. The Renault Premium... Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to put the MAN in there. Oh, jeez. You'd think I'd write this stuff down. All right, final time. Number 1, the old Volvo FH 16. Number 2, the Mercedes-Benz Actros, the new one. Number 3 is the DAF Euro 6. Number 4 is MAN. Well, maybe I did put MAN in there. Number 4 is the MAN truck. Number 5 is the Scania. Number 5.5, basically 6, is the Scania R, same truck. Number 7 is the old DAF XF. Number 8 is the Renault Premium. Number 9 is the old Mercedes. And number 10, the final truck, is the Iveco Stralis. Now, keep in mind these numbers do shift around a little bit when you get your trucks to high-end. There is a bit of a different lineup for high-end trucks. When you get your engines fully upgraded, you get your transmissions, you get your cabs, your chassis, and all that fully upgraded, the list does shift around. And in the end, it really doesn't matter which is best and which is worse in numbers. It's really what you prefer. Despite the old Volvo being the best start when the game came out, and today is even still the best start, I went with Scania because I liked Scania. And that's all that mattered to me. It didn't matter what was best or what wasn't. It mattered that I liked Scania. And that's really what this game is all about. So, that's going to be me for this episode, and that's going to be it for this series of picking your first truck. Again, I really apologize for the roughness of this episode, being a little out of practice on my computer, just not wanting to cooperate today, just really did not help anything at all, and again, I am really sorry for that, but hopefully things will get better as we continue to move forward, as we record more episodes, as we start getting back to a career again and start doing things hopefully by the book again. We shall see. But until then, folks, I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I've enjoyed bringing it to you. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Facebook and Twitter will be in the description down below. Until next time, this is going to be One Big Bugger. I'm going to be signing out. I'll see you then.